Okay, I think I finally figured out what I'm going to do with the Second Army. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm just moving them over here. But yeah, I'm glad I took my time looking at the Third Army and whatnot. Hold on, I got to turn the bloody music down again. Keeper's jumping. But yeah, the reason why I'm glad I did was it just, I guess, at first, like I just need to not react. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is sometimes I just need to settle down and look at stuff and go, okay, um, like what is the ultimate objective? That I'm trying to do. What can I do about it at the moment? And plan ahead, kind of thing. Anyway, so yeah, okay. The first thing, obviously, I'm going to do is just get move the Second Army HQ, which is quite easy to do. I'm just going to pop that guy over here, and that's it. That's the end of his. Like I said, that's going to be the end of that commander's time in the game. Like I'm not bothering with them anymore. I'm just going to leave the HQ marker. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just take them off. But yeah, okay, so there. So he's in Limburg, and that's it. It's over with for them, for that guy. What a rough time he had. Jeepers jumping. You think about it, like historically, well, historically, we're just going to add the whole bloody thing in here. Um, Originally sent to Serbia, and then it was like, then the Germans basically got wind of it. It was like, excuse me, aren't you supposed to be sending those troops to help out against the Russians in Galicia? Then gets rerouted. Then has to come and save the Kovas army's bacon with Cernowitz. That didn't work out. Falls back to Stanislaw. That doesn't work out. Like jeepers jumping. But anyways, let's get on to this. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm yet again going to be using the dictum there of Victor. Oh, why do I keep doing this to myself? Borovich, um, of not trying to concede uh, hexes, but I'm running out of troops, man. Okay. And yet again, I'm also going to remind myself that I do know that the Russians. Okay, I would assume that they did, like, there was probably reports of like some, Russian movement towards this bit, but it was only a little bit. And the reality is that the Third Army commander, for crying out loud. Oh, I actually did read up a little bit more about him there, just to find out about what he was like historically there, or read a little bit about him. Anyways, so this is the main focus, right? So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Oh, and on a side note, it may look like I'm not actually going to do anything with this. I'm leaving this hex open because I kind of get a freebie turn. It is impossible for the Russians to cross this river right now. Impossible. They have to get somebody here. It'll take one turn, and then it'll take two turns. In other words, so I have a freebie. And the reason why I want that freebie is I do know that these are my weak spots, right? Um, this I'm still okay. Like I said, okay, they could hit me here, but yet again, I kind of in a weird way have a freebie turn. You see what I'm saying? Because that's as far as they're going to get. Even if they attack, they'll advance. Let's say obliterate my troop here or force a retreat. The most they can get is to there. So that's the way I'm looking at it, and they can't get to here. So I've got a free turn, and I'm worried about these two spots. So I'm trying to strengthen that spot, but this is the other tricky thing, which is I was spending time about thinking about is I've got these replacement units, right? I would like to start recombining and strengthening up my troops. The problem is I've got nobody to replace, the troops that I take out from the front line because I just don't have anybody left. So I've been pondering, okay, so what do I do here? Do I start removing troops now? And then it's like, but then it's like, that's like a good 2 turns, 2 to 3 turns of troops out of action, right? Because it takes, I've got to move them in there and then I can't recombine them that turn. Next turn, they get to be recombined, but I can't use them. And then, so I'll be able to use them on the third turn. So that's, 3 turns of not using troops that are sitting in the front line and I have no way of replacing them. And since I've got a 3 strength point replacement unit, the way I'm looking at it is, well, obviously I'm going to, I'm going to lose 3 points somewhere. So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, do I start doing some of it now? But then, like I said, then I'm going to, I'm thinning the line here and these guys are coming barreling down on me. Or do I wait for the inevitable, which is they're going to push me back anyways. And then by the time I get pushed back, then I can start using the recombination, right? Because I'm not wasting a turn in movement and so on and so forth. It's going to be pushed back anyways and be stuck with the headquarters. But then I'm kind of worried that the longer I wait, the better chance of something going pear-shaped and they actually either are able to get enemy troops right adjacent to my headquarters, so therefore I'm no longer able to supply any counterattacks. Trust me, I'm not doing attacks. Or worse, they nail the headquarters or start, sealing me off. So that's the thing. So haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but one thing I am going to do, which is also playing into the hands of the Russians, because like I said, I'm playing it properly, is the best way to start trying to help out all this stuff and the potential of bringing troops towards replacement is to thin out Battle Group 3. Reason being is once I found out that trenches, holy smokes, with that, it's no longer a third of inflicted losses, to force a retreat. It's now the equivalent of their freaking strength points. That's awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm using that to my advantage. I'm going to strip some troops off of Battle Group 3. And due to the fact that of the restrictive nature of movement with, in and out of zones of control, I'm using that little thing. Actually, Rob and I called it. We use a similar thing in another game a game I play with Rob there, The World Undone. I think I've mentioned it a few times. We call it like feeding the snake, where you also have those zones of control, movement restriction issues, and the only way to kind of get troops around is like to do this little musical chairs of hopping. And you kind of we call it like feeding the snake, like the head of the snake. You're kind of like just always sending stuff, or I don't know, maybe the other way around, like from the head to the belly, whatever. But you get the idea. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is I'm going to start moving troops from here to there to there. You know what I mean? So in that way, and yet again, I'm not going to move anybody here yet. So inadvertently, I'm actually going to strengthen. Obviously, I'm going to have it's going to have to work that way. So I'm going to reduce 3 strength points here, I think, and start pushing people around over here. So here we go. I think. What was the first thing I wanted to do? I think it was move the second out, which I just did, and then move the 2nd and the 11th out of Battle Group 3 and move that rat. So hold on, I gotta go and get them. Yeah, and the reason why I grabbed these 2 dudes, these 2 infantry units, infantry divisions and not other ones, is because they're pink. If you see the little pink number color behind the number there for the replacement things, when you go to use replacement units, for example, if you see these guys here, they're a green 4. So I can't use these replacement units to, strengthen these guys up if they were diminished. I don't know what they are. I think they're at full strength. Oops. Hold on. Are they? Nope. But I couldn't use them anyways. They're supposedly normally 3. But I couldn't... so anyways, I can't use them. So what I'm using these guys for is they're going to just kind of go down the conveyor belt in a sense and get. I'm just using them like they're not going to ever go back towards Lemberg. They're I mean sticking around. So I need to anybody that's got a green 4 kind of thing I can send back to Lemberg eventually to get replaced. So for example, like this guy, or I think I have a bunch of them over here, right? Yeah, like the 20th and whatnot. So these guys are potentially going to be sent back that way, but not right now because I need to. Well, that's the other thing. The longer I wait to send anybody back, there's also a greater chance they're going to be permanently eliminated. So I have to be like, be a little bit worried. I got to be careful about that as well. So, anyways, that's the reason why I'm sending those guys back and not like other ones because or around, because that's the way it goes, of trying to like conserve what the heck I'm doing, right? Okay, so these guys are going to go over to here. And I'm moving these guys off to the side because they're going to be moved. You're going to see what I'm going to do. And like I said, I'm doing the little conveyor belt thing. All right, so boink to boink. And then I'm moving the 108th Landwehr Brigade and the 35th from 3809 to 3910. So these guys now are going to here, right? And in a weird way, I think it's the same. So I've actually strengthened this hex, because that's 3 strength points that were originally was there. Now they're up to 4, so that's not bad. But I've reduced this guy by 3. However, with the trench, I've massively increased them anyways. So it's like, cool. So that's that. I'm going to make sure I don't, I don't screw anybody over here. So they go to there. Am I moving the 16th? Yes, I am. Okay, so they're the same. So all I've done with this, but this is a hex I'm not too concerned about, right? I mean, what's it going to, like, where are the Russians going to go here? For goodness sakes, right? There's not, like, give me a break. So, like, that's I would say, the least valuable hex for them. I just don't, it just doesn't make any sense. So move the 16th from 3910 to 3910 to 3911, which I'll do there. Blank. And then I'm going to just move the 31st from 3911 to 3811. So I'm also, I think this guy, so originally these were just 4 strength points. And now he's going up to 5. So I've also increased that one by 1 point. So that's pretty cool. I've got to do it the other way around here, right? Yeah, because it'll make it, based on the way they do this bloody, like everybody below the thing would be half strength, and obviously I can't have a half strength of a 3. Jeepers jumping. So what else? Oh yeah, the 31st goes to here. And then I'm not moving, but yet I can put the half strength here because that half strength was there. So the 31st is going to go over with the 20th. So I've doubled the strength points, for 3811. I've increased this guy by 1 and increased that by 1, but I've reduced that guy by 2, and that guy stays by the same. And like I said, I've got a freebie hole here. In a weird way, I haven't played any of the games yet, but I've watched some videos of the Mark Simonovich X40 whatever games there from Dad versus Son. And he often talks about these Zoc bonds thingamajigs. And it was interesting when I was like, oh my goodness, here's kind of like in a rudimentary way, I'm getting a Zoc bond in a sense because of this freaking major river at the moment. But anyways, it's not the same thing, but you get the idea. Yeah, so there we go. I think that's the best thing I can do right now is I've strengthened the little bit up front here. It sucks that like I said, it sucks that before I adapted Borovich's philosophy of not giving up terrain. I did give up terrain there a few turns ago here, and the Russians, of course, took it over. And it sucks because I gave up a terrain with woods, so I gave up defensible terrain, and now I may be paying the price later. But Oh well. Oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to chit chat very quickly about um, von Bruderman there. So yeah, in real life, this guy seems like he was a dinosaur. He had a huge cavalry background, and I think he ended up, what do they call him, the general master or something. Anyways, he was like in charge of, I guess, basically almost all the cavalry of the Austrian army before the onset of the war, and he was extremely reluctant to modernize the cavalry. It seems didn't believe in machine guns. Thought abandoning the colorful uniforms for gray was unmanly and unheroic and all this crazy nonsense. So he was, yeah, one of those people that caused probably a lot of suffering and a lot of deaths because he just would not refuse to change. But yeah, he says that they said here on the eve of World War One, Bruderman was still General Inspector of the Army, and although I think at that point he still didn't have any actual military experience, like on the field. He was whatever. Let's see here. There, after mobilization began and World War One broke out with Austria-Hungary's declaration of war of Serbia, Conrad made Bruderman the commander of the Third Army in East Galicia. Oh yes, I think this is the one, right? I remember a few turns ago where I was talking about, they were saying that von Bruderman was not considered like the sharpest tool in the shed, and even Conrad was reluctant. I mean, imagine that, to say Conrad was saying that von Bruderman's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Talk about calling the kettle black here. But he was really reluctant to give this guy a field posting. And I think they gave him this posting because they thought it would be an easy peasy lemon squeezy one to do, like just stay defensive. And yeah. So I think that was it. I don't know if he got. They say anything amazing about him during the Battle of the Galicia, which opened the war with Russia. Conrad ordered Bruderman's army to take a defensive role around Lemberg, while the First and Fourth Armies went on an offensive, which is what happened in my world too. Bruderman had difficulties with the superiors at the Army High Command, and his troops suffered major defeats at the hands of the Imperial Russian Army forces during the Battle of Komarov, and or maybe it is probably would be Komarov. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying these things. Particularly around Zlokow on the 26th and the 27th of August. Of course, that's a long time ago in my game. And in the Battle of Nila Lipa on the 29th and 30th of August, resulting in enormous losses. After Lemberg fell to the Russians, he was dismissed from his post on the 4th of September. And he left the army at his own request on the 23rd of November. Holy smokes. So, yeah, things are not going that way in my world, that's for sure. My fictional von Bruderman is having a much better time of it than his real-life counterpart, that's for sure. Anyways, so that's it. And then I'm going to go off to think about the First and Fourth Army, but I think I'm just going to go and do some other neato things. All right.